All right, everybody, welcome in to the Week 9 Steak Dinner Bowl recap. We got Week 9 is in the books, and it was a great week of football. A bunch of close games with probably the best witching hour of the season. The 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock hours were just amazing. We had some surprise matchups this week. And even a few matchups that gave some owners the Monday night sweats. But we'll get into all of that. We got a new sponsor. It's Lawry's Seasoning. Turning chopped liver into filet mignon since the 70s. And we'll take a look at their ad right now.
Great salad, Marge. Find out what she's putting in there.
Darling, the seasoning in that salad. How'd you do it?
Oh, it's just something I picked up from an old friend.
Hey, Bob. Bob. Putting something on the meat? It's good.
Well, it's all in the wrist, Floyd. It's all in the wrist.
Lawry's Seasoned Salt. We're a cook's best friend.
Big shout out to Lawry's. Thank them a lot for being a sponsor. And let's get into some football. We had Thursday night football with the start of the week. We had Houston versus Philly. Philly coming through because Houston's trash. And also on that same night, we had Game 5 of the World Series, which was also Houston and Philly. Yeah, Philly ended up losing that game. It was a close game, though. And then they ended up playing on Saturday for Game 6 of the World Series, which Philly lost. They lost the championship on Saturday night. And Philly also lost the MLS championship earlier in the day before that to LAFC. And Will Farrell, who's part owner of the team, got to drink from the cup. So Philly made history for losing 2 championships in one day. Just never happened before. But moving back to football, we had a ton of 1 o'clock games. We had Miami played Chicago in a tight game and then winning. But Justin Fields ran for 178 yards and a touchdown. And he actually ran more yards than he passed for. And then we had the Raiders versus the Jags. The Raiders were up 20-10 at half, and I'm pretty sure they didn't score again after that. And Josh McDaniels definitely on the hot seat. We had Buffalo versus the Jets was a tight game. It was 17-17, 4 minutes to go. The Jets ended up winning, which is crazy. And Josh Allen might have an elbow, so we'll see how that goes and see if there's any reports on that coming out. And also, there was 3 games all tied at 17-17 at like 5 of 4 o'clock, which was crazy. It was just wild. That's why the witching hour was so good this week. We also had Seattle and Arizona with Walker scoring 2 touchdowns and 109 rushing yards. Seattle's now 6-3. Seemed totally real, which nobody saw coming for them this year, especially with Geno Smith as the quarterback. And we had the Rams at Tampa Bay, which was funny. I was listening to it, and Jim Nantz and Tony Romo were saying that the punts have been really great this game, which is not something you normally want to hear about a game, but it did end up getting good at the end with Brady, with his Brady magic, just coming back and winning at the end of the game. And then for Sunday Night Football, we had the Titans versus Kansas City. Kansas City almost losing. That game was also tied 17-17 and went into overtime. And Kansas City got a field goal to win that. And the last game of the week, we had the Monday Night Football, the Ravens at New Orleans. Ravens controlled most of the game, and probably because New Orleans looked absolutely horrible. But Kenyon Drake killed it with 93 yards and 2 TDs to just solidify that win for them. And with that, let's get into our matchups. Before we get into these matchups, so if anyone hasn't seen this Kirk Cousins photo of him on the plane, I mean, here it is. First matchup of the week we got was me as a 1 seed at 7-1 versus Mike, the 5th seed at 4-4. Calling this the good old-fashioned Carol brother wrestling battle. And, of course, end up with the older winning, So how it normally goes. Let's see. I had Pierce in the flex on the Thursday night. He ended up doing pretty well, but you shouldn't be putting anyone in your flex on a Thursday night because otherwise you don't have the flexibility to do that. Just a heads up. Doesn't look like the Chargers are scoring that much enough to help Mike's team win. Maybe that's why he's 4-4, or he's 4-5 now. And I had the highest score of the week, and Mahomes was the highest player of the week with 63.64. The next matchup we had was Mark, the 7th seed at 3-5, versus Corey, the 8th seed, who was 2-6. Mark was in bye-week hell, but still chose to keep a bench spot unused. So, I mean, it's a bold move. You don't see very often. Going into Monday night, Corey was up by about 64 points, but Mark actually had a 57% chance of winning. So I gave Corey a call, see if he was sweating it out. All right, let's go. All right, we got Corey on the line. He's in a Monday night battle with Mark. He was down by... No, sorry. You're up by 63.58 over Mark. Mark's got Lamar Jackson, Devin DuVernay, and the Ravens defense. That being said, do you have the Monday night sweats?
No. Oh, do I have the Monday night sweats? Yeah, I do, because I can't win a match. So, yeah, I'm not expecting much.
So you think this is just going to be another loss?
Yeah, that's been my luck this season.
Yeah.
Everybody gets hurt. Everybody else gets 1 point. That's how it goes.
That's true. So you're 2-6 right now. Do you think your team can turn it around to make the playoffs?
Yeah, it's not looking great, but I think I still got a chance. You never know what's going to happen. People get healthy. I can turn it around. I had a bunch of people on bye this week, so you never know. I got a chance. I don't think it's over yet, but it's not looking good this year. This is my worst year in a long time.
That is true. You were the original winner of the Steak Dinner Bowl. And I was wondering if you could tell like a quick story about how it was the Steak Dinner Bowl and why we call it the Steak Dinner Bowl.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think there was, 4 of us playing the first season?
Yeah, it was me, you, Mark, and Corey. And Mike.
Yep. And so we played that first season, and the idea was, whoever wins is going to get a steak dinner. So we played, went through the whole season. I ended up winning, and I did not ever see a steak dinner. Somehow, I just never got it.
Yeah, looking back, it's pretty scumbag of all of us. But
yeah, it is what it is. How many steak dinners did we all have together probably after that you guys didn't pay for me? That's, what are you going to do, though?
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, that's why it's, go buy your own effing steak dinner now, so.
Yeah. Actually, and then last year when I won, the year before when I won, I went out and bought my own steak dinner with the money and sent everybody a picture.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It looked like a good steak, too. It was a much better steak than the one we were going to buy you if we had bought you a steak dinner, too, so.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. Well, thanks for the call.
All right, man.
Corey did seem to hang on to win that, winning by about 17 points. The next matchup we had was Zach, who's in 6th, who's at 3-5, and then Ryan in 3rd at 5-3. Ryan trying to go for his 5th win in a row. This matchup was pretty close. Ryan was up by 13.76 points going into Monday night, with Zach having Kamara. You figure, he's definitely going to get it. Nope. Kamara barely did anything on Monday Night Football. And this ended up being the closest matchup of the week, with Ryan winning by 6 points. And he goes to 6-3. The next matchup of the week, we had Jen, the 2 seed, at 7-1 versus Carlos, the 10 seed, at 2-6. Huge upset here. And Carlos, who's back down to only having 2 quarterbacks. Solid week. And Jen had only 89.5 points this week. Pretty disappointing. And that's how it goes. The 10 seed knocking out a 2 seed. And the last matchup of the week we had was Anne Marie, the 9 seed, at 2-6 versus Omar, the 4 seed, at 5-3. And Anne Marie comes out with a win here, much needed win for her. Good showing. She had Tom Brady with 35. She had Joe Mixon, the stud of the week, who had 5 touchdowns, 4 of them in the first half, which was nuts. And she also had the biggest blowout of the week with 57.78 points. All right, with that, let's take a look at the league standings. Sorry this is running so fast, but this is running really long. We got me in first at 8-1. We got Jen at 7-2. We got Ryan in third at 6-3. Omar in fourth at 5-4. We got another shitty Mike at 4-5. And then we have the rest of the league. Half the league is 3-6. We got Zach, Anne Marie, Mark, Corey, and the Fire Extinguisher, who even with a win is still in last place. And that'll do it for week 9. So good luck to everybody coming up for week 10. I'm not doing a look ahead because this is already at like 13 minutes. So good luck, everybody. And make sure to go out and get some Lowrys.